Welcome back, students. Today we are going to talk about the projective technique. Projective technique is a personality test designed to let a person respond to the ambiguous stimuli, presumably revealing the hidden emotions and internal conflict. So this is what the work of projective technique to understand the personality of the person. Okay, so what the projective technique does is it reveals the hidden emotions and internal issues of the person. It brings it on the surface. So that is the main aim of the projective technique. So there are various types of projective technique, such as completion, like sentence completion test we saw, or the story completion test. Associations, that is to the words or to the pictures. Construction, to the stimuli, like there is a game where you need to do a construction. Then arrangement of a stimuli, example pictures, so there would be a jigsaw puzzle or some kind of those where the arrangement need to be done. Okay, next expression, so the person needs to draw or need to play. Okay, so these are the types of projective tests. Types of projective technique, continuing, so it could be a pictorial projective test like Rorschach inkblot test, or TAT, that is thematic perception test. Okay, next is the verbal projective technique, wherein you use the words in it. So it could be word association method or the completion of sentence method. And the last one is expressive method, so it could be the play technique, drawing and painting, or role play. The nature of projective test. So what could be the nature of projective test? So that examinees reveal the something of themselves. So the person who is giving the test is going to reveal about his own self by giving the projective test. Next, stimulus material is unstructured. Unstructured over here means it has no proper structure. There is no right or wrong answer to it. So examinee can give whatever he can see in the card or however he wants to solve the question. Okay, the method is indirect. Indirect means it is not directly pointing out to the conflict, but indirectly the conflict would be seen on the surface. There is a freedom of responses, as I earlier explained you, that any examinee can give any kind of response. Response interpretation deals with one or more variables. So the response could be in one or the more variables. So we'll see Herman Rorschach test, that is Rorschach ink blot test. It was developed by Swiss psychologist Hermann Rorschach in 1921. Before Rorschach, Leonardo da Vinci in 15th century, whereas J. Kerner in 1857 and Alfred Binet in 1896 thought of developing such kind of projective test. After Rorschach, David Levy, Samuel Beck, and John Exner developed or progressed this test even more. Testing material, it consists of 10 symmetrical ink blots appear on a separate cards. That is, there are 5 black and white cards, there are 2 colored cards, and there are 3 multicolored cards in this particular test. So these we are going to see the 10 cards, and we will understand how these cards look alike and what type they are going to reveal in it. Okay, so the first card is very large. It is in black and gray blot. It is more imaginative and less constricted. That means the examinee can imagine whatever he wants to. Subjects uses in many different ways, so you can rotate it as well. Most of the answer is a creature with having a wing. And this is a second card. which would be the first blot with the color. We saw over here there are 10 cards, right? So there are two in color. So this is the first one in color. Facilitates more than one responses rather than an entire blot. So it is like a organization interest or ability to give the whole response. Okay, so mostly whole or a part of an animal, bear or dog, this would be the response. So we'll just see what kind of the cards this look like, so it will give you the idea. You don't need to write in detail in your examination. You can just write that there are 10 cards, out of which some are black and white, some are colorful. Okay, so this is the sixth card. You can see this is seventh one, this is the eighth one. Eighth one is entirely colored. It has three colors or four colors in it. Okay, so most of the people will say that it is a butterfly. Okay, or any four-legged animal in motion. So this is what their most of the responses. This is the most colorful card of Rorschach ink blot test. The ninth card, and the last one, that is the 10th card. So it has the most of the color than other cards. Colors are largely distributed. Whole response is difficult, hence generate more responses facilitate the number of animals and mostly in action. So you can see no one general response is given to it. So how this is administered, sitting side by side. So the examiner and examinee would sit side by side, and each card is shown one at a time in the same order. So first card would be given, then second, then third. Okay, so there are two phases of this card. First is free association phase and second is inquiry phase. Free association phase means the subject are presented with the cards one at a time and ask the questions such as what might this be or what does this remind you of. The examiner writes down as many answers as the subject cares to give it a lot. So what will be the question over here? What can you see in this card? And the second question is what does it remind you of? So then the response is taken. Second is inquiry phase, when examiner goes back through the set of asking the subject for more detail, including what it was about the blot that determines the subject response. So what, where, why of each response. Okay, so once the answers are given for all the 10 cards, then the examiner again starts from the beginning and asks to tell the more detail about the card. The third phase is testing of limits, so whether the subject is capable of other sort of responses by calling attention to the particular area, like hinting, might this be also. Okay, so if I say this particular, you can see the pink part or the red part on the screen. So if I have a subject in front of me, I would give him the hint that is this might look like a caterpillar, is it? And if he says yes, it may look like a caterpillar, then again that response has been noted down. Now, what is the importance of this test? The Rorschach inkblot test is the most commonly used projective test. In 1871 survey of the test usage, it was used in 91% of 251 clinical setting survey. So it is a majorly used for the clinical settings to understand what exactly is going in the mind. It is one of the most widely used tests that exists. It is widely cited in research used in assessment of personality and thought disorders. Okay, so Rorschach inkblot test is the most important test. Next test is by Henry Murray that we are going to see. We'll understand the historical aspect. So we are seeing the thematic perception test, TAT. Okay, so historical aspects would be first, it was developed by Henry Morgan and his Harvard colleague, that is Christian Murray in 1935. It is based on the Murray's theory of needs. It's designed by ferret out people's basic needs by having them to tell a story. Okay, so this Murray has developed a theory of needs, and on the basis of those needs, this particular test was developed by Henry. Okay, now, what are the testing materials in this? In the present form, it consists of a series of 31 pictures, one of which is blank. So, there are 31 pictures and one is blank. Okay, so total 30 pictures and one blank. The present TAT pictures are the third set to be used in 1935. Aside from additions and omissions made since the first series was issued, the card in the second and the third series are distinguished by being twice the original size. So they have grown up the size of the card. TAT was standardized for Indian conditions by Uma Chaudhary in 1974 for clinical usage. So of course this test is from US, but although we have accepted the Indian version of it, and in India it was developed by Uma Chaudhary, so we are using the TAT by Uma Chaudhary. So this is the first card. You can see a boy looking down somewhat pensively at violin before him. Okay, so these are the cards, these are the examples of the cards, and you can see over here there's a needs that are being seen over here in the cards. Okay, so a basis based on the base of the human needs, this card can be are developed. Okay, so there would be the instructions on how this particular thing has been examined. So this is a test of imagination. I'm going to show you some pictures one at a time. So these are the instructions that the psychologist gives to the client, and your task will be to make up a story as dramatic and imaginative as possible. So what is happening at the moment, and what will the characters are feeling and thinking? What went before, what led up to it? What is going to happen? What will be the outcome of it? Speak your thoughts as they come in your mind. Structural aspects of TAT. How the stories are told, language expressions are also being observed. Okay, so for example, if I'm seeing this the picture in the left side, so the client has been asked what happened in this picture, what is going on in this picture, and what will happen next. So the three aspects are been asked, that is past, present, and future. Also the way they when the client is saying the story, his expression has been observed. Okay, so this was all about the TAT, that is thematic perception test. Next, we move on to the sentence completion test, that is SCT. We are going to see the historical aspects, testing material, method of administration, scoring, interpretation. We are not going to see much in detail about it. Importance of test. So the historical aspect of SCT, which is not given in the textbook, but you can still remember the name, that is SCT was first developed by Joseph Sachs. Okay, so he was the first person to develop SCT. The testing material. This test was designed to obtain significant clinical information in four representative areas of adjustment, such as family, sex, interpersonal relation, and self-concept. So SCT actually measures these four areas, that is family, sex, interpersonal relations, and self-concept. Okay, so these are the examples of SCT. These are given in your textbook as well. My mother and my family treats me like, okay, threats me like, sorry. So all these are the examples of SCT. The area of interpersonal relationship, when I am not around my friends or when I see boss coming. So you need to complete those sentences, and that is what the test is about. Method of administration. The subject is asked to respond to the structured items, that is sentence stem, by completing the other half of the sentence by their own words. projecting their ideas and attitudes. SCT can be administered individually or group and require around 20 to 40 minutes to complete the test. It is emphasized that the responses should consist of first spontaneous reactions to its stimulus item and that the subject should not stop to think of a logical completion. Okay, so this is the most important point of SCT, is that first response that comes in your mind is the actual response of it. Okay, so you don't need to complete it logically. So whatever the response that comes when I am not around, my friends are what? Okay, so whatever the response that came spontaneously in your mind is the actual response for this test. Scoring and interpretation: by evaluating the items of each area and their sub area qualitatively and coming to the conclusion that the kind of attitude conflicts the person has in each of those areas. So there is a qualitative evaluation that is not much important at the junior college level. So you can study this in the bachelor's or master's if you are going to pursue. Okay, so these are the references from which I have taken all this detail about the test. In case if you have any doubt, please feel free to ask me. Okay, so bye, take care.